Namaste. This is the yin flow for this week, and we've been working on a chakra series. And this week we've been talking all about the third. Before I go into more detail about the third, I'm just going to be ever so brief, just mentioning it's from the navel to the breastbone. So it governs the digestive system. It's considered the place of our willpower, the thing that motivates us, gives us strength and perseverance, gives us resilience and confidence, allows us to have some positive self-esteem. It allows us to be responsible, independent. It's our place of power. So when it's balanced, we're empowered. And when it's out of whack, we could potentially feel disempowered. The counter force or the emotions or mental states that go against the center is anger and stress. Think about with stress, we could develop stomach ulcers. Lots of anger goes back to the bile that's within gallbladder and the liver. I want to mention that earlier this week, we did a lot of abdominal work and we did a lot of twist yesterday. So for the yin practice, I thought another important thing we can do is just really open up and stretch the belly. And since this is a more passive practice, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to really try to open up the belly. We are going to still emphasize the twist, because the twist, of course, help with digestion and kind of help to move things along. And we'll try to rinse some stress and tension out of the body, rinse some of those raw emotions out of the body, take that journey inward and tap into our sense of self. The sense of self is this third chakra, this Manipura center, what we often call the solar plexus. All right, so the thing that I want you to think about is we've been moving up the chain of the chakras. Think about, when you meet someone for the first time, you typically are like, who are you? Where are you from? Where you're from is the root chakra. It's your tribal identity, it's your family roots, where you grew up, the town you live in, right? And then you would probably ask that person, well, are you married? Do you have a family? Do you have children? That is second chakra. So you're getting to know this person at a different level. And then you move up to the third chakra. When you're moving from the second to third, like, well, what do you do, right? Because what you do with your career is second chakra, moving up that. Well, what is your role within that career? What is your identity wrapped around that? That's the third chakra. So I mentioned yesterday, and I'll mention it again today in case you weren't here with me, what we're seeing kind of playing out in Afghanistan is really a lot to do with trauma based in the third chakra. So trauma that affects this energy center is anything like authoritarianism, dominion, abuse, extreme manipulation, terrorism, violence, right? Because that anger kind of fuels violence. So anything of this nature is really going to make a very heavy impact, detrimental impact to this particular chakra. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get on our backs and have a block and a bolster available. When you come to lie down on your back, go ahead and flex your ankles, lengthen out through the backside of your legs. Separate the feet almost as wide as your mat, and then lay the heels down and flip-flop the feet in and out several times. until the toes roll away from your midline. I want you to spread through your upper back and shoulders, maybe widen your elbows a bit, and place your hands on the solar plexus, that area between the navel and your low ribs or breastbone. Lower the lids of the eyes. Form a relationship to your breath. Becoming the master of your breath. So that as you're controlling your breath, the belly is rising up, ballooning outward. And as you exhale, it's deflating and retracting inward. So remember, diaphragmatic breathing is a calming breath. Allow it to coax you towards a state of relaxation. Because even in a state of relaxation, we tend to breathe in a diaphragmatic way. However, when we're stressed, we do what's called chest breathing. And the movement here is restricted, therefore affecting this energy center. So allow the breath to come down into the belly. Allow it to bellow in, down, so that you can bring some stress relief to both your mind and body. On the next inhalation, let's go ahead and travel the feet back. So the heels are lining up underneath the knees. The hands are going to spill down and your arms are going to lengthen beside you. We're going to do a bridge flow. So as you power down through the soles of the feet, start to tuck the tailbone, lift thighs, hips, abdomen, and chest. And as you exhale, draw it down one vertebra at a time. Now, continue that 2 more rounds. Inhale, pushing down through the soles of the feet, igniting your hamstrings, glutes, and back. Lifting to Setu Bandhasana, and then exhale, rolling down 1 vertebra at a time. Last one, inhale, rooting the feet, tucking the tailbone, lifting the chest towards the chin, and then exhale, rolling back to the floor. So now we're going to do that again, but we're going to bring in the arms. So as you inhale, start to push down to the feet, tuck the tailbone, lift thighs, hips, abdomen, chest. The arms will circle over to track beside your ears. And as you exhale, bring the arms back with you as you roll back down to the sacrum. And do a few more of these. Inhale, incorporating the arms with the hips. And then exhale, taking it down. So imagine as you lift and lower the hips, that you're holding something between your knees so that the thighs continue to rotate inward towards one another. And you feel that strong power through your legs. Last one, inhale, rolling up. Opening and stretching the belly. And then exhale, navel pierces in as you come back down. All right, we're going to find one of our blocks. And we're going to place it in between the knees. And you're floating the feet off the floor here. And your arms are going to stretch out to the sides of the body. So we're gently going to rock the knees, maybe about 6 inches to the left. We'll come back through center and then send the knees about 6 inches over to the right. Okay, very slow, meticulous work. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the right. This time when you breathe into the left, go about 10 inches over from center. And then as you exhale, take it about 10 inches to the right from center. So the knees are going a little bit farther away. You may even notice you're starting to roll onto the piriformis, massaging that muscle that can get pretty tight and tender. Now take it about a ruler's distance away. Inhaling to the left, exhaling to the right. Think of it almost like a pendulum, rocking side to side, or like that lower end of a grandfather clock. And then eventually tipping the knees across one side into the other and just barely hovering above the floor. So notice as the knees continue to tip closer and closer down to the earth, how that twist moves up into the midsection of your body. Through the upper abdominals and side obliques and into your mid-back. All right, the next time that you send the knees to the left, remain in the twist, so just allow the feet and thighs to spill down. Close the eyes. Surf the wave of the breath as it undulates up and down the right side body. Giving some love to the liver. On your next inhale, I want you to grip in your midsection, grip in your core, roll the knees to center. And then you're going to tip the knees to one side as you breathe in, and tip the knees to the other side as you breathe out. So again, at first, you're just going, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches over. Doing that a couple rounds and then eventually going to maybe 6 inches. It may feel more concentrated in your low back and low belly. So then take it towards 8 or 10 until you feel it starting to maneuver up in towards the third chakra. Area above the navel and across your mid-back. Now tipping so that you barely hover above the floor. And then eventually lay the knees off to the right. Choosing for yourself, do you want the head to be stationed or the neck's neutral? Or do you prefer turning your head to one side or the other? So the third chakra is about freedom to choose, right? What makes us unique from each other. Our characteristics, our strengths, our weaknesses, our likes, our dislikes. Relax and breathe. Now slowly bring your left hand over to your right side. Push down into that hand. Slowly come up. And we're going to meet each other in tabletop position. So in tabletop position today, we're going to inhale, keep the right hand as is, but extend your left arm down the lane of your mat. Drop and dip towards the floor like you're moving towards a half melting heart. And then inhale, you're lifting back up. Flip your left palm open and thread it underneath the right arm. Thread the needle pose. And then we're going to flow. Inhale, come back up. Extend your left arm down the lane of the mat. Dip low again, half melting heart. Inhale, lift the chest. Open your left palm. Thread it under. And lower towards your left ear. One more of those. Inhale, stretch the left arm forward and out. Inhale, coming back up. Now this time on the exhalation, thread the left arm through. Press lightly into your right hand. Open up the back ribs. The back side of your heart. But then we're going to become more yin because this is active. So slide your right hand forward and lay the elbow to the floor, and you're just going to flop. You're going to let your belly flop. You're going to let your chest sink, and you're just going to feel more of your weight on the outseam of the left arm versus the twist. So it's not as much about a twist now. But remember, the outside of the arms hold a couple different meridians that correlate back to digestion. The large intestine meridian and the small intestine meridian. Stretching out through the front side of the belly. Just continue to sink and sag and melt down. Slide your right hand in. Unthread the left arm. This time, take the left arm out in front of you. Slide your right hand further back. Dip down towards your chin. Sink your left elbow. Taking this pose a little deeper than before. And then inhale, slowly come up. You're gonna stack onto both hands and knees, curl the toes under, and then launch into downward facing dog. Now expect to feel a lot more freedom and life force through that left side. You may even feel slightly longer on that side. Right, now we're gonna start to match it up. Come back down to your knees. We'll take it to the right. So the right arm is going to slide forward, dip halfway down or more. Inhale, come up. Flip your right hand open, thread it under the left arm. Inhale, come up. Exhale, slide the right arm out. Sink into half melting heart. Inhale, come up. Exhale, thread the needle. Last time, inhale, half melting heart. Exhale, thread the needle. Now, this time, stay in the active form for a moment, pushing lightly into the left hand, rolling towards the right shoulder blade. Now slide your left hand forward, sink down to the left elbow, sink down to the right temple and cheekbone. You're basically kind of unwinding from the twist and drooping down through your upper body. Just giving into gravity. Now bring the left hand back. Slide the right arm forward, the left hand back. Drop to the chin. Hold and breathe. Inhale to table. Exhale to downward facing dog. Pressing through the palms, straightening through the arms. Bowing your head. Make sure that you have a nice, spacious, open belly. Now walk your hands towards your feet. Once you arrive to your heels, bend your knees. Straight down, nodding your head, and letting go. Be here with your breath. Making your exhalations twice as long as your in-breath. 3 more breaths. And inhale, walk your hands before you. You're coming to plank. And we're not going to do a dramatic wild thing pose, okay? It's going to be a little bit more subtle than that. But if you lift your right foot, spin on your left foot to step it over, you're basically lifting your right arm, hanging the head back, flipping back to plank, taking your left foot up and over, spinning around, opening up space in the belly, and not remaining, coming back to plank. And then down to the knees. And once you come down to the knees, I'm going to turn to face you. But basically, your shins are to your left side so that you can twist to the right and come down on your mat in a forward fold. Now, this is where if you want to make it restorative and you have your bolster, you can bring the bolster in and do this. Some people just like to come all the way down to the floor. So this way you can exercise your third chakra and your freedom to choose. Let's slide the hands in. Gently come up. But what we're going to do is we're going to lower down to the right side. So we just came up enough to move the bolster away. We're going to move into cat pulling its tail pose. So the left leg is going to stretch over the body. And you see the right thigh, you're going to slide it back. Okay. And then once you slide it back, you can, this doesn't work for everybody, but if you want to test it out, if you take your left hand behind you, you might be able to catch the foot and lower gently down to the back of your head. So it's like you're going towards a supine twist in a way. But again, you could just be here on your side with the left leg crossing over the body. Remember when we work the sides of the body, it's gallbladder meridian. Working to a twist, getting the stomach meridian. All right, we're going to release the back foot. Come on up. And then we'll do that to the other side. So you can spin your body around. Lift up energetically. Exhale, turn to your left. And then determine, do you want to just come down solely to your mat? Or do you want that extra padding? Excuse me. And you can make it more restorative. On your next inhalation, slide your hands back. Slowly come up. Move that bolster away. Come down to your left side. Take the right leg over. Slide your left thigh back behind you, possibly taking a hold of that back foot and possibly being able to roll to the back of the head and into a twist. So in cat pulling its tail pose, don't feel like you have to go this far. You can minimize and be here. Okay. Release the back foot. Slide the right knee back. And we're going to come up for our final pose before Shavasana. So our final one, we're going to take the hands over towards one side or one hip. We'll inhale, rainbow the arms up. And we'll exhale, take the hands down. Inhale, rainbow them up one at a time. Exhale, release. One lifts, and then the back one will follow. The next time you come over to one side, drape the top arm and then turn and tilt the head down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale to the other side. And again, the top arm has the C curve and the head tilts and turns down. The eyes can be half masked or closed. So who cares? And then inhale, come up. All right, so I was thinking for our final position, and if you want to use your bolster for a reclined back bend, maybe you just want more of a pillow today, but for something that could be a little bit more dramatic, I had to grab my second block, is to create that T. Place the first one under your ribs and then the taller one underneath your head. And this will give lots of room and length and space for the solar plexus. And then when you're relaxing, either on the bolster or on the blocks, and you tap into the solar plexus, I want you to imagine a fiery ball of energy, radiant, glowing brightly like the sun. If you're a visual person, imagine this fiery ball of energy and anything that you've outgrown or any ideas that are outdated, any toxins, impurities, stress, or tension, you want to throw it into the fire. You're more of a verbal person, recite the seed mantra for the center, Ram, over in the mind. Ram, Ram. If you'd rather just steep in silence and stillness, do that now. you're lying on a bolster, you're going to want to roll away from the bolster and grab a block. If you've been residing like I've been on the 2 blocks, you're going to come up, lose one, hold another, return to your spine, bend your knees, and at first just hug them in. Then we'll drop the feet, tuck and lift. And this time when you come up to bridge, the block's going to go under your sacrum. And then your palms can open up. We're going to elevate the feet to encourage more circulation to the solar plexus. So pick up the feet, legs extend overhead. Hold 7 full breaths. At the end of your 7, lower the feet back down. Tuck and lift, remove the block. Once you roll down, catch your right knee. Release that side. Pull in on the left. Take a hold of both knees. Circle the knees 3 times in one direction. And then 3 times in the other. Finding your way up to take a seat.
We'll conclude this practice today. Bringing your hands to prayer position at your heart. So we're going to chant Ram together on the exhale. Take a deep breath in. Ram. The light and the fire within me honors and respectfully bows to the light and fire in each of you. Namaste.